Right now, a British unmanned system is watching over a conflict zone, and the enemy has no idea it's there. Some of these machines were so classified, the Ministry of Defense denied their existence. These are every British military drone, explained. The Pioneers, BAE Systems Phoenix, Britain's first serious eye in the sky. The Phoenix was the Royal Artillery's battlefield reconnaissance drone throughout the 1990s. Rocket-launched, parachute recovered, and equipped with thermal imaging that spotted enemy armor in pitch darkness. Unglamorous, slow, and absolutely essential. Operators in the Gulf and the Balkans depended on it. It proved one thing beyond doubt. Britain needed unmanned eyes, and it needed them permanently. Canadair CL-89 Midge. Before Phoenix, there was the Midge. Fast, low altitude, and rocket-launched. This Cold War reconnaissance drone screamed over enemy positions, snapping photographs before anyone on the ground could react. No loitering, no hovering, just one high-speed pass and gone. The grandfather of British battlefield aerial reconnaissance, and the proof that unmanned platforms could outrun the threat entirely. OQ-19 Observer. The experimental era. The BTT and OQ-19 were flying targets, built to be shot at so anti-aircraft gunners could train without burning manned aircraft. The Falconer stepped it up, carrying a real reconnaissance payload and proving drones could gather intelligence, not just absorb gunfire. Unglamorous work. But without these machines, nothing that came after would exist. Nano and micro drones. Black Hornet Nano. 33 grams. 3 cameras. Absolute silence. The Black Hornet is the most dangerous thing in the British Army that fits inside a shirt pocket. Soldiers in Afghanistan used it to peek over walls and into compounds before committing to a clearance, completely undetected. The enemy couldn't hear it, couldn't see it, had no idea it was mapping their position in real time. Britain was one of the first armies in the world to field it operationally. Pure, unfair advantage. Desert Hawk 3. Hand-launched, whisper-quiet, and built for one job. Seeing what's waiting for you before you walk into it. British forces in Afghanistan and Iraq used the Desert Hawk 3 to push surveillance ahead of patrols, scanning roads for IED teams and ambush positions. Over an hour of flight time. Live video direct to the operator. In counterinsurgency warfare, that information saved lives every single patrol it flew. Honeywell RQ-16 T-Hawk. A flying cylinder that hovers directly above things that could kill you. The T-Hawk was Britain's eye over suspected IEDs in Afghanistan, hovering steadily above a device, feeding live close-up imagery to bomb disposal teams planning their approach from a safe distance. No weapons, no glamour, just cold, precise intelligence delivered exactly where it mattered most. In IED warfare, the T-Hawk didn't just help. It saved lives. Parrot Anify USA. Small enough to carry in a backpack, powerful enough to change a mission. The Anify USA is a compact quadcopter fielded by British forces for rapid tactical reconnaissance. Its thermal and optical cameras deliver sharp real-time imagery in near silence, making it the perfect tool for quick urban overwatch or forward area scanning when you need eyes up fast and you need them quiet. Simple to deploy, impossible to ignore once it's airborne. Puma 3 AE, built for the most demanding environments on Earth. The Puma 3 AE is a hand-launched fixed-wing surveillance drone designed to operate in driving rain, high winds, and conditions that would ground most commercial systems. British Special Operations Forces use it for persistent area surveillance, loitering quietly over a target for hours, feeding continuous intelligence back to operators on the ground. Tough, reliable, and nearly invisible at altitude. Exactly what special operations demand. Tactical and medium-altitude drones. Watchkeeper WK-450. The Watchkeeper is Britain's most advanced dedicated battlefield surveillance drone, and one of the most capable tactical unmanned systems in any European army. Built on the Elbit Hermes 450 airframe and developed specifically for the British Army, it carries a sophisticated radar and electro-optical payload that can track multiple targets simultaneously in all weather conditions. Day or night, rain or dust. The Watchkeeper sees through all of it. It represents Britain's commitment to persistent, all-weather, theater-level unmanned surveillance. And it is a serious piece of kit. Stalker and Indigo. 2 systems. 1 mission, getting eyes into places no soldier should have to go. The Stalker is a fixed-wing silent surveillance drone capable of extended loiter over a target area, powered by a near-silent electric motor that makes it extraordinarily difficult to detect. The Indigo is its compact quadcopter companion, packable, rapidly deployable, and built for close urban reconnaissance. Together, they give British Special Operations Forces a layered unmanned surveillance capability that covers everything from wide area overwatch down to street-level intelligence. Silent, persistent, lethal in the information it delivers. Anduril Ghost UAS. This is where British unmanned capability gets genuinely classified. The Anduril Ghost is a Group 2 tactical drone built for special operations, designed from the ground up to be difficult to detect, difficult to jam, and extremely difficult to stop. Fitted with Anduril's Lattice AI software, it doesn't just stream video. It processes the battlefield autonomously, cueing operators to threats before they even identify them manually. Britain's adoption of Ghost signals a clear direction of travel towards AI-driven, autonomous unmanned systems that think faster than any human operator can react. High-altitude hunters. Reaper MQ-9A, the most lethal drone in Britain's current inventory. The Reaper is a hunter-killer, a large, high-altitude, unmanned aircraft that can loiter over a target for over 27 hours, carrying Hellfire missiles and precision-guided bombs. The RAF has operated Reapers continuously over Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria, conducting some of the most precise strike operations in British military history. It is remotely piloted from bases thousands of miles away, yet delivers effects on target with surgical accuracy. The Reaper didn't just change how Britain fights, it changed who Britain can reach. Protector RG-Mk1, the Reaper's successor, and a generational leap forward. The Protector RG-Mk1 is the RAF's next frontline remotely piloted aircraft, based on the General Atomics MQ-9B Sky Guardian. It is larger, more capable, and critically, certified to fly in civilian airspace. That means it can deploy from UK soil without the restrictions that limited the Reaper. Armed with brimstone missiles and paveway bombs, the Protector brings persistent, long-range strike and surveillance capability that will define British air power for the next 30 years. This is not an upgrade. This is a complete redefinition of what Britain's unmanned force can do. Loitering munition. Small, fast, and built to die on impact. The Nyan is a loitering munition, a drone that flies to a target area, identifies its objective, and then becomes the weapon itself. Compact enough to be carried and launched by a small team, it brings precision strike capability directly to the front line, without requiring air support or artillery. In modern warfare, where the difference between winning and losing a firefight is measured in seconds, the Nyan gives British forces an on-demand precision strike option that no previous generation of soldiers ever had. Munitions. The kamikaze arsenal. Lanner. The Lanner is Britain's answer to the drone swarm threat, and its own precision strike requirements simultaneously. Developed as a loitering munition with advanced targeting capability, it is designed to defeat both stationary and moving targets with minimal collateral effect. What makes the Lanner significant is its role in Britain's wider counter-UAS and strike ecosystem. It isn't just a weapon, it's part of a networked kill chain that connects sensors, shooters, and commanders in real time. Fast, precise, and increasingly autonomous. Skylance. The Skylance is a high-speed loitering munition built for one specific mission, defeating hard targets fast. Where other loitering munitions trade speed for endurance, Skylance trades endurance for velocity, closing on its target faster than most countermeasures can respond. It represents the cutting edge of Britain's investment in expendable precision strike, the understanding that in future high-intensity warfare, cheap, fast, disposable precision weapons will be just as important as expensive reusable platforms. Skylance is that weapon made real. Ground robots. Wheelbarrow Mk8. The name sounds like garden equipment. The capability is legendary. Britain's iconic bomb disposal robot has been rolling directly towards explosive devices since the Northern Ireland Troubles in the 1970s. The Mk8 carries cameras, manipulator arms, disruptors, and X-ray systems, everything needed to confront devices that would kill any human operator instantly. Deployed across Northern Ireland, Iraq, and Afghanistan. More British lives saved by this machine than almost any weapon in the inventory. Foster Miller Talon. Tough enough to be thrown from a building and still operate. The Talon is the tracked ground robot British forces used in Iraq and Afghanistan for route clearance, EOD work, and dangerous area reconnaissance. Later armed variants carrying machine guns blurred the line between bomb disposal tool and combat platform entirely. Britain used it primarily in the EOD role, but the Talon proved ground robots weren't just for bomb disposal anymore. They were becoming fighters. Mini Mine Wolf MW240. Landmines don't care who steps on them. The MW240 exists to find them first. This remotely operated mine clearance vehicle uses flail and tiller attachments to systematically detonate mines across a strip of ground, clearing safe lanes in hours that would take human deminers days of terrifying work. It absorbs the blast, so people don't have to. In post-conflict environments, that makes it one of the most humanitarian pieces of military technology ever built.